All right, we on.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Akim teaching about the mind while Mott. That's the sincerity and truth. It's the Great Millstone Dallas branch. I'm Yatzazak. I got the brother Anah here with me. And we're approaching the tail end of the book of Judges. And yeah, we just want to get into some history correlated to today, as we normally do through the spirit, to let you know that this is a living document, man. You see, all these things that we learning it for the times that we in. So when you see the situations that Israel was in as a whole, and then you see the situation that Israel is in today, you know that we closer to the end of this thing than the beginning. So we just gonna see how it goes through the spirit. Lord willing, it'll be edifying.
All right. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start here at Judges chapter 19 and start at verse 1. All right. It says, "And it came to pass in those days when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took with him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah." Right. And it made sure the scriptures say when there was no king in Israel, because a king is supposed to lead. Okay. When you go into King David, King Solomon, they were righteous, righteous kings. Even Saul, before the Lord took the spirit off of Saul, Saul had the spirit of judgment on him, which Lord willing, later on in the lesson we're going to get an account, of one of the things that Saul did that was righteous, right? But it says when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. Okay, and you got to remember the Levites, they didn't really have a land allotment, so they would be scattered all throughout, the other tribes' land. Okay, so he just so happened to be, dwelling on the side, sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim. Okay, and it says, "And his concubine played the whore against him," which, what does that mean? That means she went and dealt with somebody else, right? And you might think, oh, a concubine, she's not tied to you. Nah, I mean, the main difference between a wife and a concubine is the wife gets, the two families, I should say, join house, and the name is passed on, okay, to those children, and their inheritance is passed on a lot of times, more so with the wife, you know what I mean, versus a concubine. It might just be that, just dealing with
A wife of bondage.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Sarah was Abraham's wife. Hagar was his concubine.
Right.
But all
Maybe.
those children are attributed to his seed.
That's right.
You see, so it's a lesser wife.
That's it. That's it. Basically, could be somebody of another. Now, this was an Israelite. This specific concubine was Israelite, but a concubine could have been of another nation or whatever the case was, right? But this specific one says, he took her out of Bethlehem, Judah, right? It says, and went away, and his concubine played the whore against him and went away from him unto her father's house from Bethlehem, Judah. That's exactly what women do. They run away, and she didn't have nowhere else to go other than her daddy's house. You know what I'm saying? Same way women acted back then, hey, like the scriptures say, that which is, matter of fact, we'll get that real quick. Let me just go ahead and pull it up. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Okay. That which is then is now, man. Right? Ecclesiastes 1:9, it says, "The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." Okay, so this might sound like part of a reality TV show or whatever, right? But this stuff has been going on for ages.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, get that in the NLT, Baba Kashab.
Okay, Con. Yep. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9 in the NLT, it says, history merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Sometimes people say, here's something new, but actually it's old. Nothing is ever truly new.
Right.
Yep.
One more line.
Verse 11, it says, we don't remember what happened in the past, and in future generations, no one will remember what we are doing now.
You see, and that's why we make sure we go into all these different things, because you don't remember yourself, who you were, and all these different things, but you know that with nothing being new under the sun, the same things that we see in today, we saw them back then, and we can read about them. That's why when we get into these lessons, we be like, see, back then the same thing was happening. The same thing that's happening now was happening then, no matter what it is. You know, you got it.
Con, all right. So that's pretty much it on that. Let me
Mhm.
go back to this here in Judges. All right. Judges chapter 19 and verse 3. Or actually, let me finish reading verse 2. All right. It says, and his concubine played the whore against him and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. Right.
Did
So
we
they,
look up concubine?
yeah, I had a mind to look it up. Let me go ahead and pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
All right. This is that word for concubine. Strong's H6370. Paya Lagash. Paya Lagash. All right. It says concubine, paramour. The definition of paramour. It says a lover, especially the illicit partner of a married person. So you might already have. It says also a lover, significant other, mistress, girlfriend. So you might already have a wife, but you might have a side a side chick or whatever, right?
King Solomon had 300 concubines.
See,
300 concubines. We ain't even worried about the wives. He had 300 concubines.
right? You know what I'm saying? Girlfriend. Sometimes that girlfriend, love feel better than the wife. You know what I'm saying?
The variety is the
Sometimes
spice of life.
that's it. That's it, man. Sometimes you gotta mix it up, right? So that's the word there. Paya galash. Um, Paya lagash, excuse me. So going back here to this verse 3, all right, it says, and her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her and to bring her again, right? Like the scripture says, a soft answer turneth away wrath. Going back, matter of fact, we pull that up real quick. Sometimes, what I'm saying, when you break up or whatever, uh, you know, you might miss her or whatever, you know what I mean? And you like, man, you know what? Let me come back. Who knows what obviously she committed adultery, but let me just bring this the scripture up real quick. All right. It says Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So she probably, who knows what happened? Maybe they had a disagreement, doesn't say, right? But he used that answer. He came back and pretty much got, won her back over, right? That was the objective. Right.
Oh, I think you see it. The tongue, I would say the tongue of the wise works. You see?
Yep.
The tongue of the wise works, but the mouth of fools don't. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's what he wanted to do right then. He yikewabbed.
Yep.
Come on, baby girl. You know I was just tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how I get when I've been
drinking or whatever, but no, really she messed up. Really, she's the one.
You know what, baby? I don't care about that shit.
You know what I mean? But that's how it be sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even today, your woman, I mean, we don't endorse it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we don't endorse it, but sometimes it might happen. You know what I mean? That's a form of the woman's receiving mercy. Let's just say it like this: the women that we got now, so-called wife or concubine that we have now, none of them were virgins when we met them. which
Right.
means they already played the harlot already. You know what I mean? In the
I'm gonna say,
past,
get the curse.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
about our
talking?
women.
Which one? You talking about Deuteronomy?
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, right. I know what you're talking about. Deuteronomy
yeah.
20.
Well, is that where I woman to be a harlot in the city?
Yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right. Actually, you know what? Maybe not. Let me share this
Yeah,
tab.
I think if you type in harlot city,
Yeah.
you'll get it.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, Amos. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Maybe it's a couple. Maybe it comes up in a couple areas. But it's Amos 7 and 17. All right. And this is obviously, there's more than one, but this is one here that says the same thing. This is Amos 7 and 17. It says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword."
Yeah, that's the one I wanted.
Okay, kind. "And thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land."
And
Right?
the point was being that your wife is gonna be a harlot in the city.
Mhm.
Now, like we said, she's a concubine, but she was of Israel. You know what I'm saying? So she falls up under thy sons and daughters falling by the sword and her being a harlot in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just wanted to get that to back you up.
Con, the water. All right, so let's go back here. Judges 19 and let's see, verse 3. It says, "And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her, and to bring her again, having his servant with him, and a couple of asses." So he had that substance. So he was like, "Man, let me go back and get my woman." Oh, we just remember we read the situation not too long ago with Samson. Remember, Samson, he had the deal where he basically had got married, or had the wedding ceremony, you know what I mean? Or there was like a celebration, and they had that riddle, and he got mad, and he went and slayed those Philistines, and then he went back to his to his father's house. And then after some time, he went back. He was like, "You know what? Let me go back. Let me go back and deal." You know. And then he found out that his wife was given to to his best man at that. You know.
Right.
But sometimes, like you got that mind to go back because it's like, damn, well, we did have a little something going, right? So it just shows you that I was even though it's not the optimal situation, it happens sometimes, right? So it says, "And to bring her again, having his servant with him, and a couple of asses, and she brought him into her father's house. Um, and when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him." Why? Because he's like, "Damn, man, good," because it was either y'all get back with her, or basically she was gonna have to be a harlot. You know what I'm saying? Because that's pretty much like no man's gonna want to marry a woman that's not a virgin. You know what I mean? Unless her, maybe her husband died. But even at that, why would a man do that when he can just get with a virgin? You know. So the father was happy. He like, "Man, hell yeah, she's not gonna be stuck in my house forever. Good, take her back." Right? It says in verse 4, "And his father-in-law, the damsel's father, retained him." Okay. Um, and he abode with him 3 days. So did they eat and drink and lodge there. So they, pretty much had that comfort.
Look up retained.
Okay. Retain. Okay. This is Strong's H2388. Chazak. Um, okay, wow. Repair, to make strong, to strengthen, prevail, to be strong, to harden, become strong. So basically when they ate, they got their strength back. Support, to support, to strengthen, to make
Repair.
strong.
They repaired their relationship.
Yeah, to repair, to support. You see it all right there. Sustain, strengthen yourself, so on and so forth, right?
Okay.
So that word chazak has many meanings, all right? But it says, and his father-in-law retained him, or you could say strengthened him, supported him, all that. All right, and he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodge there. You know, when you go over your woman's you go meet your woman's side of the family. And, you know, they might cook some stuff. It's, you know, it's a good feeling. You know, that the family supports the you know
The union.
the union, right? Uh, so it says in verse 5, and it came to pass on the fourth day, when they arose early in the morning, that he rose up to depart, and the damsel's father said unto his son-in-law, comfort thine heart with a morsel of bread, and afterward go your way, right? Which I was listening to another brother do a kind of like commentary on this video, and he said it kind of reminds him of this, scripture that talk about the Day of Atonement, where it says you're supposed to afflict your soul, because pretty much when you're not eating, that's the opposite of comfort, right? I'm gonna get it real quick. Leviticus 16 and 29. Okay, it says, and this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls and do no work at all, neither neither it be one of your own country or a stranger, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger that sojourneth among you. But yeah, specifically, where it says afflict your soul, like, what does that mean? It means no food, no water, right? You're supposed to reflect. I'll get the word. Uh, the word afflict, Strong's H603, I not. Okay. To afflict, to humble, to weaken. Okay. To become low. Yeah, because when you don't eat for a period of time, you literally deteriorate. When you don't drink no water, you weak, right? So that's what that's going into. All right. But in this instance here, it says that they comfort thy heart with a morsel of bread, right? It says that's what the father-in-law said to the Levite. Okay, it says, and afterward go your way. And they sat down, verse 6, and did eat and drink both of them together. For the damsel's father said unto the man, be content, I pray thee, and tarry all night, and let thine heart be merry. All right. Give me 1 second. Okay. Verse 7, it says, and when the man rose up to depart, it says, when the man rose up to depart, his father-in-law urged him, therefore he lodged there again. So he didn't want him to leave, right? He pretty much wanted him to stay. He was like, man, nah, you good, come stay another day, right? All right. It says verse 8, and he arose early in the morning on the 5th day to depart, and the damsel's father said, comfort thine heart, I pray thee. And they tarried until afternoon, and they did eat, both of them, right? So pretty much he convinced them to stay another day. And verse 9, it says, and when the man rose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant and his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, behold, now the day draweth toward evening. I pray you, tarry all night. Behold, the day groweth to an end. Lodge here, that thine heart may be merry, and tomorrow get you early on your way, that thou mayest go home. Right? It says, but the man...
He done turned it into a cap house.
Man, for real. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, it's all good. You can post up here, man. Right? Sorry, I'm looking for...
Which is how you would treat a Levite. You know what I'm saying? With them being in the position that they in. So you want to make sure they're taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Yep. Yeah, I was looking for this precept, but it's all good. It's all good. This is Judges 19:10. It says, "But the man would not tarry that night, but he rose up and departed, and came over against Jebus, which is Jerusalem." Okay, so they probably called it a different name because the Jebusites. The Jebusites was in though originally they were in Jerusalem. Before um King David, his time, like there was Jebusites in there. So they came across to that city. Um, it says, and there were with him 2 asses saddled. His concubine also was with him. So when you got that much stuff, like you you don't really want to just be out there in the wilderness. Somebody can rob you. You know what I'm saying? Anything could happen, right? Get attacked by animals or whatever. So they were like, trying to find a place to lodge. Okay, and remember, this is already the day was already growing. So that's like leaving the house at 8 o'clock, but you got to walk to, uh, you know, from Dallas, to Irving or something, you know, or from South Dallas to downtown. You know, it's gonna be nighttime by the time you get there, right? So it says, verse 11, uh, and when they were by Jebus, which again is Jerusalem, the day was far spent. And the servant said unto his master, Come, I pray thee, and let us turn into this city of the Jebusites and lodge in it. See, he was like, Hey, look, it's gonna get dark. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and let's enter into the city right here. And his master said unto him, We will not turn aside hither into the city of a stranger that is not of the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gibeah. Now, let me take this opportunity to see if I can find a decent map real quick. Just give me.
All right, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this commentary while you look for it.
Okay.
All right, it says the war with Benjamin, which is what the story is about. It said a Levite whose concubine had run away from him, came to Judah looking for her. When they were reunited, her father was so pleased he did not want them to leave. They then stayed with him for a few days, then set out to return to the Levite's home in Ephraim. The route back, to Ephraim took the couple through a tribal territory of Benjamin, looking for somewhere to sleep. The night. They preferred not to stay in Jerusalem, which was inhabited by foreigners, but to move on to Gibeah, where they would be among their fellow Israelites. Right? You want to be amongst your fellow Israelites, right? Well, we know what's gonna happen, right? It says, but the people of Gibeah were not hospitable, just like niggas ain't today.
Mm-hmm.
This UPK block. That's
Man.
just a small level, but yeah. But the people
Right.
of Gibeah were not hospitable, and the Levite and his wife thought they would have to sleep in the town square. However, an old man who was not a Benjaminite but an Ephraimite saw them and took them into his house. It says, while the Levite was enjoying the old man's company, a crowd of Benjaminite men attacked the house, demanded that the old man hand over his guests for their sexual pleasure. Reminded you of back in the time during Lot. See when them wicked ass dudes was trying to, well, them was sodomites, but
Yeah.
they was trying to they was trying to get it in on some freak shit. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I got that
Freak
precept.
shit. Yeah,
Whenever we get to it, I
Con,
got.
that's what's up.
Yeah. And I got.
It says but the
Go ahead.
old man refused, but the Levite gave them his concubine instead. Right? We can keep going.
Con. So I got this map right here. Y'all know how I am with my maps. So you got. Let's just start here, right? Bethlehem, right? You got Bethlehem to the south, all right, and then you got Jebus, which again, this was before it was also known as Jerusalem. I'll just say like that. Later known as Jerusalem. It's the same city. All right. And so they likely traveled. You can see here the scale of these of this map here, maybe 4 or 5 miles. You know what I mean? might take maybe an hour to walk, maybe less, maybe more, right? And then they got to the city, right? And the um the servant of the Levite was like, "Hey, look, let's pull up into the city right here." You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the sun's pretty much down, so we can go ahead and pull up into this city, right? So this is what he said here in verse 11, right? He said, "The day is far spent." And the servant said to his master, "Come, I pray thee, and let us turn into the city of the Jebusites and lodge in it." Verse 12, it says, "And his master said unto him, We will not turn aside hither unto the city of a stranger that is not the city, that is not of the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gibeah." All right, now remember, Gibeah overall was kind of known as like was an overall area. Um, you know, this map doesn't really uh this map doesn't really pull up much information on the area, but you can see here Gibeah was specifically a city, and you can see here, you know, as um as you brothers know, Israel was a mountainous is a mountainous area with lots of valleys and hills. So there would be kind of more, well traveled paths in the valleys of these hills here, where they would travel. So you got Bethlehem, right? Coming up, you got Jebus. And then if you keep going north, which is the land of Benjamin, all right, entering the land of Benjamin, you got the city of Gibeah, which if you look at the distance between Jebus and Gibeah over here on the key, it ain't nothing but maybe no more than 4 or 5 miles. So he was like, look, we can make it. We just go past here and, we'll just lodge there. Because he knew that there was Israelites. Can y'all see my screen? Hold on. My bad. I'm over here talking. Yeah, this is the screen here that I was referring to. The city of Gibeah is right here. Jebus is right here. All right. And they started their journey here in the south. So you can see again, it's maybe like 3 or 4 miles farther to the north is where the Levite was trying to go. All right. So going back to this scripture here, it says, verse 13, and he said unto his servant, come and let us draw near to one of these places to lodge all night in Gibeah or in Ramah. So he was like, shoot, we ain't dealing with these with these with these Jebusites. You know what I mean? He's like, if we got to go to Gibeah, or even if we got to go to Ramah up here in the north, he knew his area around the land. He knew if he kept going north, he'll pass by them cities, right? So continuing on, it says, and they passed on and went their way. All right, and we're gonna get to it real quick. The point of this chapter, like the elder already mentioned, you got wicked Israelites in this chapter. I mean, in this city, particularly in this city right here. That well, we're gonna get to it. They did some madness, man. All right, but it says, verse 15. Verse 14. And they passed on and went their way, and the sun went down upon them when they were by Gibeah, which belongeth to Benjamin, right? Benjamite territory. All right. It says, and they turned aside thither to go in and to lodge in Gibeah. And when he went in, he sat him down in the street of the city, for there was no man that took him into his house to lodging. Which right then and there, well, there's some parallels already, right? The same thing. We'll get the scripture. I got it pulled up right here in Genesis 19, right? When you got this account here, all right. In Genesis 19, it says, and there came two angels to Sodom at even, right? Meaning at sundown, right? And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face towards the ground. See, that's how guests are supposed to be treated, man. Your neighbor. When the scriptures say, love thy neighbor, it don't mean the random, Canaanite or Edomite next door across the street. Nah. Your neighbors
That's our custom.
Right. Because your neighbors was, even if it was a brother of another tribe, hey, that's still an Israelite. Looking at this map again, okay, it's a more zoomed in map. but you even you got the neighboring tribes, Ephraim to the north of Benjamin. You got Judah to the south of Benjamin. I'm not sure which tribe was to the west, maybe Dan or another tribe. Manasseh. You got all the other tribes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Or
I believe when you look up the word brother, it goes back to, neighbor, it goes back to brother.
Con. Yep. So that's really what it is, man. So like when the scriptures say love thy neighbor, your neighbor is supposed to have the same um faith, belief as you. He's supposed to have the same goal, overall on the earth as you, which is to forward, the agenda of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But a lot of these individuals that are Israelites by blood, they act like heathens, man. They act like straight up, heathens. That's why the scriptures say these are spots in your feast. Let me pull that scripture up real quick. In Jude, let me get it. Don't type it exactly. It don't pull up properly. Okay, here we go. This is Jude chapter 1, verse 12. Well, let me see here. Oh, actually, I mean, you can start up, but I'll read verse 11 and 12. It says, "Woe unto them, for they have gone the way of Cain." But this is talking about our people, though. When you read up, talking about wicked Israelites, right? It says, "For they have gone the way of Cain," because what did Cain do? Cain, he killed his brother. First he coveted him. He coveted that blessing that the Lord, that respect that the Lord had unto Abel's sacrifice, and then he killed him, and then he lied on it. Then he said he didn't know where he was. Am I my brother's keeper? Right. So it says they have gone the way of Cain and ran greedily after the heir of Balaam for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Korah. So that's three different, examples, right? They're different nationalities, right? Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, they was Israelites. Balaam, he was I believe he was a Canaanite, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, right? But these different examples are showing examples of wicked men, right? It says, verse 12, this point, these are spots in your feast of charity when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. So you could even have, individual, and this is the case of the chapter that we're reading right now. You can have individuals that were dwelling amongst Israel, right? Whole cities, even that were just whole full-blooded niggas, wicked niggas that just basically didn't have no respect for the Lord, and they were just living life on earth like heathen, but they're actually Israelites, but they're acting like heathen, right?
So you can liken that today to these to this whole affiliate situation. You
Yep.
got Jake that's really sincere, and then you got Jake that's on some nigga shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And it's like, damn, man. It's like that embarrassing cousin that's just like he just can't seem to get right, and
Man,
try to, you know what I mean? You're like, damn, man, why does nigga gotta have the same last name as me? I'm
right.
embarrassed to be related to this nigga. That's how basically Benjamin was this at this point in time, which we're about
Shit,
to read.
I would say the rest of the Israelite groups look at us like we Benjamin.
Man,
Yeah,
yeah,
but the Lord preserved the remnant out of
right.
Benjamin. You know what I'm saying? Even though they wasn't right. Yeah, even though they wasn't right, the Lord still had mercy. So man, those said you can, man, look.
Con. Yep. So everything's spiritual, man. You gotta be able to extrapolate. So
Yeah, they looking at us like we wicked as hell.
yeah, that's right. Well, we're gonna see what happens here in this verse, in this chapter. All right. Judges 19 and 15. Okay. And they turned aside thither to go in and lodge in Gibeah. And he went in, and when he went in, he sat him down in a street of the city, for there was no man that took them into his house to lodging. Right. And then going back to that example in Genesis 19 and 2, it says, Behold, and he said, Behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house. and tarry all night and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. See, they were like, but the angels, they came for the smoke. You know what I mean? But,
Yep.
you know, Lot was the only one. You know what I'm saying? Lot was the only one that offered to take him in, right? But basically the spirit of judgment was passing through that city. But Lot was the only one that pretty much was righteous in that city. You know, it was his household was the only one that was covered, right? And basically you read down and we'll get some more. But let's read here. Let's go back and we'll come back to it later. Let's go back to this Judges 19. In verse 16, it says, And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim, right? Because remember this Levite, he was sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim. So even though this was a city that was inhabited predominantly by Benjamites, this man here, he was from Mount Ephraim, right? Different tribe. All right. It says, and he sojourned in Gibeah, right? But the men of the place were Benjamites, right? So this guy, he was kind of like an expat.
Let's see what Gibeah mean.
Gibeah, okay. Yeah, it escapes me. Gibeah, Strong's H1390, Gabaiha. Hill, a city. Let's see here. Gabaiha. It's a feminine noun. A hill. The root word is gabai. All right, which means hill. So yeah, literally. Yep. Yeah, that's good. Good. Got your buy. A bowl or a cup. Okay, interesting. Yeah. So goodbye. Goodbye means hill. Goodbye ha is a feminine way of saying hill. Which makes sense because there's a couple places named Gibeah, and there was very, very much up and down terrain throughout the country. So let's see here. Verse 17, it says, And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city. And the old man said, Whither goest thou? And whence comest thou? And he said unto him, We are passing from Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of Mount Ephraim. For thence am I, and I went to Bethlehem, Judah, but I am now going to the house of the Lord. And there is no man that receiveth me to house. You see, but according to the custom, you were supposed to take a man in. You know, if you saw a man, basically you saw a man out there, you know, and you could tell, okay, he don't stay here. He don't have a house in the city. You know, like that was the whole point. You know, you're supposed to take that man in, right? But you can tell, and he was expecting it. Like, you know, it was like, damn, hold on, nobody,
right?
Nobody brought me in.
That's why he passed up the heathen. He was like, well, shit, now we can just make it up to her. We good. You know what I'm saying? It's our people. And then he got there, and it was the complete opposite.
Right. Yep. So he probably would have been better off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now you see why. Now you see why, like you mentioned earlier, Jacob going on to try to make it to the camp house before he stopped just in South Irving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In South Irving, shit, you ain't finna get no love.
Man.
So you gonna try to make it to the camp house.
Yep. Even though it might be a little bit farther away.
Yeah. And that's the thought process he had. But hey, the spirit had other things going. And the Lord have things like this to take place for his goodwill, for his thought process. Matter of fact, get that my thoughts are above your thoughts.
Okay. That's Isaiah.
Yeah, I'm saying through only a spiritual man to be able to identify what the Lord was trying to do or had going with this type of situation. You know what I'm saying? And then when you think about these types of situations, Israel was going at war with Israel.
Mm-hmm.
It's always something going on with Israel, but we're not covered. You see?
Con, that's right. This is Isaiah 55:8. All right. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts."
You see, and you find little nuggets in the spirit. Okay, this lets you know that Israel do have wicked men. It lets you know that the judgment of the harlot. You know what I'm saying? She left the crib. You know what I'm saying? Played the harlot. She ended up getting judged. You know, all types of different things you can pull from it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got it.
Fine. Yep. So it shows you the city was probably full of extortioners and all type of just grimy niggas. Oh, this dude, who is he? Like, nah. But you can
Yeah,
see.
because a lot of Benjaminites died. You know what I'm saying?
Con.
And a lot of the rest of the tribes died because they was going to war.
Yep.
So the Lord was mad at Israel, and He sparked up an event that was going to make them fight it out. Go ahead.
All right. This is Judges 19, and all right, verse 19. It says, "Yet there is both straw and provender for our asses, and there is bread and wine also for me, and for thy handmaid, and for the young man which is with thy servants." Okay, there is no want of anything. So pretty much he was like letting them know, like, you know, I ain't coming here begging, like, you know what I mean? I already got my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And if this woman, you know, she needs to be a servant unto you, she can. You know what I'm saying? And I got another servant too, a manservant. So we good, right? In verse 20, it says, "And the old man said, Peace be with thee. Howsoever, let all thy wants lie upon me, only lodge not in the street," right? And so that was pretty much, the first half of the correlation when you go into this here in Genesis 19, because Lot did the same thing. Because the angels were saying, "Look, you know, we're gonna stay in the street all night. We good." You know, they was angels. But here it says in verse 3, Genesis 19, "And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat." See, so he pretty much was like, "Nah, man, nah, hell nah." You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna let you stay out here. I ain't gonna let y'all stay out here. You know what I mean? Off top, he offered his house, you know, to them, and opened it up. That's what real, you know, brotherly love actually is. But you can't do that with niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's why the
Hell no.
scriptures say, you know what I'm saying? A nigga a nigga roll down your street, he mean mugging you, you know, playing boss man D-Lo, you know
Man,
what I'm saying?
trap music up.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, the damn charger, you gonna them loud ass chargers be hearing downtown. He got one of them
Man,
hoes, you know what I'm saying? With the music blasting and shit, looking at you crazy like, nigga, what you looking at? You ain't gonna let a nigga like that in your house, you know? So that
absolutely
just
not.
so that just shows you how, like, man, now you think this is home. You call this place home, man. You know, this is hell. Okay. But anyway, um, it's back in Judges 19 and 20. It says, verse 21 actually, it says, "So he brought them into his house and gave provender unto the asses, and they washed their feet and did eat and drink." You know, and when you wash your feet, like, that's where you're gonna lay your head that night, because you don't wash your feet unless like, you know, like, you basically wash your feet before you lay down. You know what I mean? Like, if you're still outside traveling, you ain't gonna wash your feet. But if you relaxing, you gonna, you know, let your hair down, quote unquote, so to speak. You know what I mean? So they nourish themselves there. Remember, they didn't have, you know, Nike running shoes, the comfortable ass shoes. They had sandals. You know
Right.
what I mean? So dirt got in your toes, and so you wash your feet before you lay down. Right? It says in verse 22. Now, as they were making their hearts merry, beheld, behold, excuse me, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial,
Damn
beset,
demons.
yeah, niggas. If you want to translate that to 2024 GMS translation, certain niggas, okay, sons of Belial, which we'll get that word because we got it before, because that's pretty much all a man of Belial is, okay, a son of the devil, okay, which is why we call you know 2/3 of our people, we call them demons, right? Strong's H 1100 ba bala yaal bala yaal, excuse me, bala yaal. All right, it's a compound word. um Baal ya, and then yaal, okay, but basically it means worthlessness. Let's see here.
Good for nothing.
Good for nothing.
Unprofitable.
Yep.
Base fellow. Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
A nigga.
Right. A lewd fellow of the baser sorts.
Yeah, ruin, destruction. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To profit, it says to profit or benefit, and then about yeah. Oh, literally, okay. Yeah. Not without, okay, so basically without profit, good for nothing. Literally means ba, when it says ba balai, excuse me, bal ya'il, bal ya'il, it literally means good for nothing. Sons of a good for nothing, unprofitable, literally waste, worthlessness, right? So good for nothing niggas, okay. Beset the house round about and beat at the door. See, but that's like the average Jake you see to run down the street, man. They just roam the streets, seeking for mischief. You know what I mean? They just, like we see it all the time. Niggas downtown walking around, you know what I'm saying, walking like demons.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, you got cut out?
Yeah, you froze for a little second, but we
Okay.
back now.
Yeah, kind. Niggas walking around downtown like demons, walking like demons. And you're like, damn, what are they actually doing? They're not coming from doing anything profitable. They going to cause mischief, You know what I'm saying? So these are the sons of Baal. Even today, they got sons of Belial. Excuse me. All right. But it says in the house. Excuse me. Let me read from the top. Judges 19 and 22. It says, now they were making their hearts merry. As they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him. You see? So now it's coming out why uh, they didn't want to take him in, because they was all demons. Okay, it's when it says that we may know him. What that mean? That word I believe is Yadai. All right, but um, when you know a woman, that means you have intercourse, you have sex with her, right? Or it says here that we may know him, right? Strong's H 3045. Yadai. All right, to know. Okay, I'm looking for where it'll say anything about having sex, observation, instruction, acquaintance, familiar, feel, have knowledge. Okay, I'm not sure why it's to acquire knowledge, to become acquainted, but it's basically a figure of speech, But basically, when you get to know a woman until you deal with her. So they were saying, look, they wasn't trying to just have a conversation. You know, oh yeah, let's have a conversation.
Scroll back up.
Okay, do
I
you see
think I
something?
seen some of
Oh,
it.
I see it. I see it.
Intercourse. Yeah, there
That's
you
it.
go.
The water. Definition number 3 right here. It says to know, to become acquainted with one, with anyone, um, or anything. But it says often put by a euphemism. All right, often put by a euphemism for sexual intercourse. Okay, hence of a man to know a woman to lie with her. Um, it is also applied to crimes against nature. You know, verbs are not.
Right. That's what said Leviticus 20:13. If a
Mm-hmm,
man lay with mankind like he lay with a woman,
mm-hmm.
you see, that's what it's going into.
That's right.
That Moism.
That's exactly right. So that's, obviously that was you know that was a sodomite mindset that they were in, right? And that was pretty much that verse right there. Same thing that they was in, the same spirit they was in Genesis 19, Judges 19 and Genesis 19. They got a lot of similarities in there. A lot of similarities, right? So we're gonna keep reading. It says in verse 22, verse 23, and the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into mine house. Do not this folly. See, so
That's what
that
I'm
was,
saying. You responsible for your guests. You
yep.
know what I'm saying? You responsible for your guests. Now you fast forward to today, Jacob be done did some wickedness and then come to your house. You know what I'm saying? And then bring all types of trouble. You see, but the
Mm-hmm.
Lord was moving in this situation. You see? I mean, which the Lord is moving in every situation. But yeah, you would expect this treatment. You would expect this treatment amongst the heathen. You know what I'm saying? Not amongst your own people. But it shows you that your own people will go there.
See, yep, your own people, man. So it says, verse 23, I read that already. Verse 24, it says, behold, here is my daughter, a maiden. Okay, let's just get that word maiden real quick. Real quick. Slocky. All right, Strong's H 1330. Bathwala. Okay, a virgin. Okay.
Yep. She haven't even been touched by a man. Man, here, take her. Don't deal. Don't be wicked and try to get these men. I got a daughter. He got a concubine. It's women right here, man. What's wrong with y'all?
It's craziness. Crazy work.
Same thing Lot went through. Like,
Yep.
look, man, I got 2 daughters right here, man. What's up? Like, y'all tripping.
See, but that's niggas for you, man. That's why this place got to go. That's why what the events that followed this chapter, okay, happened because niggas was in that spirit, man. And the Lord sees everything. You see? So it says
Yeah, they had a prison spirit on them, man.
man, yeah. I don't even know what yeah. They're like, man, women ain't enough.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
I'm saying, but hey, nothing new is under the sun. People in that same spirit now.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it says, verse 24, behold, here's my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now and humble ye them. You know, it's like, look, you can deal with them. All right. It says, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man, do not so vile a thing. You know?
Yep, this is an Ephraimite trying to protect the Levite.
Come.
Go ahead.
All right. It says, verse 25, it says, but the men would not hearken unto him. Oh, hold on. I got to get that Romans 1. You know what I'm saying? I got to get that Romans 1. The
Affection.
Yep, the scripture that the Sodomites hate. They changed it in the Sodomite Bible to something else.
They don't even them two words don't even go together.
Right. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
You know.
like they tripping. That's what I'm saying. That's that same spirit that would rather have no. I don't want your daughters. I want him.
Yeah.
Like, nigga,
That's
no.
crazy. That's crazy. Crazy work. You know. You know what I'm saying? So
Sick work.
this, Romans 1 and verse 24 says, "Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts." See, so the Most High allowed them to just destroy themselves because they wanted to rebel against the Lord.
Yep. The Lord said, "I told you I'll kill you for that.
Yep.
I told you that's punishable by death. But y'all want to do it so bad. Go ahead, so I can kill you. Go ahead. Yeah. You want to be nasty? Hey, that's what I'm saying. You justifying your destruction.
Kind.
And just because Esau said, "Thou shalt not surely die," just because the serpent said, "Thou shalt not surely die," like, yes, you will. Yes, you will. Go ahead. You muted yourself.
Yeah, my bad. I touched my AirPods. It switched. Can you hear me now?
Come.
All right, cool. All right, going back here to this Romans 1 and in the middle of verse 24 says, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who was blessed forever. Amen. For this cause, the Most High gave them up unto vile affections. See that? Vile affections. Like, well, let's get the
Oh, I'm saying Benjamin is son of the right, ain't it?
Supposed to be.
That's what I'm saying. Come on now.
Yeah, supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That were vile is Strong's G 18. Excuse me, 819. Uh, a Atai Mia. Let's see here. Dishonor, vile, dishonor, ignominy, disgrace.
You have to look that one up. I know
Yeah.
it's a synonym, but shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
ignominy means,
that mean you nasty as hell.
yeah, it's that ignominy means public shame or disgrace. Like when you get thrown in prison, that's like public shame, humiliation, embarrassment, mortification, disgrace, dishonor, you know, um, shame. But see, these niggas didn't have no shame. You know what I'm saying? All right. It says in a state of disgrace, use of the unseemliness and offensiveness of a dead body. Like you supposed to be repulsed. Like, you know what I'm saying? You walk around, like, even if you see, let's say you walking on a sidewalk and you see a dead snake, or, a dead mouse, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? You walk in and you see like a dead, squirrel or some shit. You like walk around the body, like, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, I don't, you don't even want to get close to that,
Right.
vile. And it says vile affections though, right? Strong's G 3806 pathos. It says inordinate affection, lust. You know, you see that? Let's see here. Emotion, affliction, passion. So vile emotions. You know, especially a calamity or mishap, evil affliction. Right. So it says, for this cause, the Most High gave them up to unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use of that use into that which is against nature. But yeah, pretty much. I'll read this last verse and go back. It says, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman. You see that? They didn't want nothing to do with the women that the Ephraimite offered to them, right? Which the use of the woman. Okay. If you don't like the way that's used, excuse me, the way that's worded, get over it. The natural part of the natural use of the woman is to get your rocks off. Okay. And it says, leaving that natural use of the woman, they burned in their lust one towards another. bro love.
Oh man, that thug in love, gangsterlicious ass shit.
Oh man,
Yeah,
craziness.
that's why I say that Diddy was one of them niggas probably.
Yeah, man, shit. Come on, bro. Once you get some, I mean, you know, you got demons on it. No, there's no bridle. You know, your mind goes crazy, goes anywhere. Like you just want to please the flesh. But
Yeah,
in the
you'll do
meantime,
anything.
yeah. But in the meantime, you're destroying yourself, right? Men with men working that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. All right. And the recompense of your error is going to be ultimately going to be death. All
Yep, and
right.
that meat is good for you.
Yep. Good riddance. Right. So it says, going back to this here in Judges 19 and 25, it says, but the men would not hearken unto him. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them. Right. Same thing with this here in Genesis 19, right? Like you said, you know, Lot, when you read the account, Lot was trying to say, hey, look, you could, I got two daughters, you can deal with them, right? But the thing is, um, in this instance, you know, the angels took over, you know, the angels took over. But in this
Yeah, he
account,
blinded all of them.
yeah, yep, you know, verse 9, you know what I'm saying? And they said, stand back. And they said again, this fellow came into sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now we will deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. So Lot was trying to hold him off. He's like, nah, man, now yeah, they leave him alone, man. They're into my house. Like, I got two women. I got two daughters. You can have them. And they're like, who is this dude? You gonna be a judge? You gonna be a judge between us? You're not even from here. Now we're gonna deal worse with you than with them.
Huh.
You know. And then then Lot shut the door, right? And then the angels smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness. You know. So but this account here in Judges 19 was a different story. Because there wasn't no angels in the house to
Right.
save them. So it was all, ultimately it was all judgment at the end of the day, right? Because the maiden, you see, the daughter didn't get shoved out the door, the concubine did, but the concubine, remember, she played the harlot, so she got judged, right? So it says, verse 25, but the men would not hearken unto him. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them. She's probably scared as hell, right? It says, and they knew her and abused her all the night until the morning. So however many niggas it was, versus with one woman.
That's what I'm saying. All of them committing adultery.
You
Niggas
know,
took turns committing adultery.
you know what I'm saying, right? Until the morning, right? It says, and when the day began to spring, they let her go. So them niggas didn't even go to sleep; they were just being demons,
Man.
you know.
And now you fast forward to today, women want this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Gang bangs and all this madness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Having sex with multiple men in a day. Body
Yeah.
count and all that. You see?
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
with this situation, she played the harlot, and this is a punishment. You know what I'm saying? This is a punishment. But now you fast forward to today, women, they looking for this. You
Mm-hmm.
got women that actually want this. You know what I'm saying? And they are gonna get judged for it. Yeah, you don't voluntarily sleep with 20 dudes,
Right.
you know? But that's where we live now.
Yep. So
Go ahead.
it says, verse 26, it says, then came the woman in the dawning of the day and fell down at the door of the man's house where her Lord was till it was light.
Just
Okay.
blow out. Destroy.
Through.
Go ahead.
It says, verse 27, and her Lord rose up in the morning. You see where it says her Lord, by the way, lowercase L. That's talking about her, her man, so to speak, right? It says her Lord rose up in the morning and and opened the doors of the house and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold.
Now she would have stayed her ass at home. You know what I'm saying? That's how it played out. You can be offended all you want.
Yep.
You see? But her playing the harlot led to this.
Yep. Running away
amongst other things. You know what I'm saying? That small thing, look what it turned into. Israel going to war. Benjamin almost being wiped out.
Man.
All that started with her playing the harlot.
Yep.
So you get my body, my choice all you want, but that's what I'm saying. You're going to be held responsible for your choices. That's why the fear of the Lord is important, man.
Okay.
You see? And as a matter of fact, even when you look at it spiritually, with us being the bride of the Most High and His Son, us being the bride of the Lord, you see? Look what done happened to us. Man. Since we committed adultery against the Heavenly Father. Look what happened to us. So the men got the fear and the women got the fear. It ain't no. Man is above woman, of course, because you got Yahweh Shai, the man, then the woman. But at the same time, both have been completely destroyed. And only mercy is going to get you out of it.
I got you, Zaquan.
Con.
This is
Lord
Hosea.
said he going to have mercy on who he going to have mercy. He going to have compassion on whom he going to have compassion. You see? So if the Lord don't want to have mercy on you for what you did, you get situations like this. You got it.
Con. All right, this is Hosea 13:9. It says, O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself, but in me is thine help.
See that? You see that? She messed over her help.
Yep.
Just like we did. Right?
But
these type of situations happen so that you can get a spiritual understanding and fear. You think I want the Lord to just throw me out there? No. Because you see, without that covering, man, you subject to anything. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, I will be thy king. Where is any other that may save thee in all thy cities? And thy judges of whom thou saidest, give me a king and princes. But this is going into after, time of the kings. But the Lord is our king. And you said, even when we read the beginning of this chapter in Judges 19, it said, when there was no king in Israel, but Yahweh Bashim Yahushai was and is supposed to be our king. But basically, Jake was in that we have no king but Caesar's spirit. Before there was a Caesar, we have no king but Satan. Pretty much, that's pretty much through their actions, the mindset that the majority of our people had it, throughout history, especially at this time. So you go back to Judges 19, right? You got this woman here. She got abused all night. She came back to the door of the house with her hands upon the threshold of the door, falling down. And it says in verse 18, super through, and it says in verse 28, Judges 19 and 28, and he said unto her, up and let us be going. But none answered. So she pretty much, either was finna die or pretty much died right then and there.
You want to look at it in the NLT, see what's up?
Yeah, con. Right. T 28. All right. This is Judges 19 and 28. And he said, get up, let's go. But there was no answer. So he put her body on his donkey and took her home. Okay, this is an addition in the Greek, so there's no original Hebrew that says that she was dead, but it could be assumed that she was dead. You know what I'm saying? It could be assumed that she was dead of exhaustion. You can die from exhaustion.
You read the next verse, you know what's up.
Yep. Verse 29, it says, and when he got home, he took a knife and cut his concubine's body into 12 pieces, right? Then he sent one piece to each tribe throughout all the territory of Israel,
Man.
you know? And this is the
Ooh.
same thing that happened. This is a similar thing, I should say, because when you get, first of all, let me get the commentary real quick. Going back to the commentary. Let's see here. All right, where it says, um, I'll read this paragraph. It says, while the Levite was enjoying the old man's hospitality, a crowd of Benjamite men attacked the house, demanding that the old man hand over his guests for them to satisfy their sexual perversions. The old man refused, but the Levite gave his concubine instead. They raped her throughout the night, and she was found dead on the doorstep the next morning. Her husband responded to this violence by cutting the corpse into 12 pieces and sending a piece of Israel's and sending a piece, and sending a piece to each of Israel's 12 tribes. This was an ancient method of calling the people together to fight against a common enemy, which in this case was the wicked men of Gibeah. And you can see here, it gives a footnote. It's a typo. It's supposed to say First Samuel. What chapter? First Samuel 11, right? So I'm gonna pull that account real quick. And this is the account of when Saul was basically, coming up against these Ammonites here when Saul was king. All right, this is when the Lord, still had a certain level of the Spirit, on Saul, and basically, they said that you got a certain amount of days, 7 days, all right, to pretty much open up unto us, the specific city, that the Ammonites came to, and the Ammonites were saying that, hey, you guys got a certain city, certain amount of time, if you don't open this, and if you don't open up this gate, and we have to come up there and take y'all out, um, you know, we're gonna take off all your eyes, thrust all your eyes out, right? And and so they pretty much asked uh for help. You know what I'm saying? They sent messengers to help, And so what Saul did was he cut up the well, it says right here, when he heard the noise of what happened, in verse 7 it says, and he took the yoke of oxen and hewed them in pieces, took a yoke of oxen, excuse me, and hewed them in pieces and sent them through the coasts of Israel by the hands of the messengers, saying, whosoever cometh not forth after Saul and after Samuel, so shall it be done unto his oxen. And the fear of the Lord fell on the people, and they came out with one consent. So, pretty much like the commentary said, when you send somebody yes, even like some of the mob movies, send somebody hand and a piece of mail, like, yeah, that's sending a message. You send some flesh and a piece of mail. Is like, damn, hold on, what's going on here, right?
Yeah,
So
envelope full of teeth and shit.
yeah, what I'm saying, a head, you know a head on a platter. You get somebody like, damn, what the hell,
He said, "Is that a nigga's back in the box?"
man? Not
Yeah,
that
chopped off a nigga back. Yeah, this your cousin, nigga.
yeah,
Do something.
God, for real, right?
Jesus.
So they're like, damn, shit, this is crazy. They're like, okay, let me slap into it. Even when you read it, and back in Judges 19 and 30 in the NLT, it says, everyone who saw it said, such a horrible crime has not been committed in all the time since Israel left Egypt. Think about it. What are we going to do? Who's going to speak up? You see? So they were saying, like, look, man, we got to do something about this. And they knew, like, hey, if we don't, then you know, I mean, how can you not respond to that?
Right.
So even when you go to the next chapter, which, let's see how long we've been going. Been going over an hour. But when you go into the next chapter, we'll just do a little sneak peek. Chapter 20, they pretty much gathered themselves together, like the saying goes, from Dan to Beersheba, from top to bottom, right? um, to confront the land of Gilead, right? And so that was the result of this, this situation. And you know, there's a lot of stuff, craziness like this going on, man. Here in Babylon the Great, and people think that they're committing those things, in secret, and that basically nobody's going to see them, and they're not going to receive any recompense. But the Lord going to judge them for that, man. You know, there's a lot of that's why this place is called Babylon the Great. Why, like it says in Daniel 1. I'll pull it real quick. How the judgment that's going to come to this place is going to be worse. No, it is Daniel 12. I'm tripping. Daniel 12 and 1. The judgment that comes to this place is going to be worse than any other place, right? We're going to read next week, Lord willing, and Judges 20 about the judgment that came to Gibeah, but this place is going to be worse. All right, judgment is going to be worse than that place. It's Daniel 12 and 1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time." You see? So again, we're going to read the judgment of the wickedness that was going on back then next week, but there's stuff like this going on all the time, man. All right, and you know what I mean, all the time, but it just don't get exposed, right? But like Howard Shah said, that which is in the dark, shall be brought to the light eventually. So you're not gonna
Wicked
be
shall not go unpunished.
right. You see that? The Most High not gonna acquit the wicked. So anyway, that's pretty much the point. Um, that's the end of that chapter 19. So I don't know if you want to pick up next week, Zaquan, on the next chapter.
Yep, Lord willing.
Con. Hey, so Abaratazah, Lord willing, that's an edifying lesson. With that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, and that was a great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.